Who is this mysterious man? Well, now we're learning another furry? Yep, that's another strange twist and turn here, as of course we just got new information about Thomas Crooks as we had the security failure of the decade, if not the century, especially when it comes to this very peculiar story, as Candace Owens is telling us she soon will be releasing more information, as there is a weird connection between Charlie Kirk's assassin and Donald Trump's would-be assassin, as new information now highlights some very pressing matters, especially after all the latest information, as Tucker Carlson truly is putting a lot of pressure on the FBI that just officially answered him when it came to his own investigation. What did the FBI say? As we have now a member of Congress coming forward and describing Thomas Crooks to potentially be a part of some dark intel program like MKUltra, something, of course, that we've been saying from the very beginning. As, of course, if you remember, there was a lot of things leading up to this event that are important to think about in hindsight, and who was responsible and who was really trying to stop Donald Trump. And then afterwards, there was not just a suppression and a coordinated censorship effort of the event, but there was a deliberate push to try to be like, wink, wink, nod, Iran? Look at the Abdullahs over there with the flip-flops. I think they're responsible for all of this, as everyone said, you got to be frickin' kidding me. As right now, we still have a lot of pressing questions that Congressman Tim Burchett really raised some very important questions about. And if you appreciate these types of videos, going deep down the rabbit hole, subscribe, click the notification button, as we greatly appreciate all the time that you spend with us. Now, Candace Owens just released this a few minutes ago, declaring today is going to be a big day. What we will present in the Charlie Kirk investigation is going to, quote, change everything. This is not an exaggeration. Nothing will be the same. What is she going to be releasing? I don't know. We're going to, report on it when it does come out. Could it be something related to Thomas Crooks? As new information came out, highlighting his kind of extremist shift, as Tucker Carlson released his kind of online digital footprint. And it is a very fascinating one. It's a very interesting one, as it looks like he was kind of flipping around the political spectrum, ended up on the kind of radical leftist spectrum, and now had a furry account. As now an anonymous source disclosed 17 online accounts linked to Thomas Crooks. Who's this anonymous account? Who came forward? Well, probably someone within FBI or the federal government, to be quite honest with you, especially when you have that type of insider lore information that should have been out there to the public discourse. The FBI made a statement previously before and be like, no, there's a trial here, so we can't release the information. There's no trial. The guy's not around. They very conveniently got rid of Thomas Crooks during that incident, even though there's timelines of event highlighting how he was already unable to fire more shots at Donald Trump, how his rifle was shot out, and then conveniently he was taken out, and then conveniently there was no autopsy. The body just cremated right away. And then, out of all of that, with all that happening here, we specifically had an incident where, the body was, and everything was just washed off. Very interestingly here. But now we're getting an online activity of this young man from 2019 to 2020, as it looks like he was active on profiles like DeviantArt, which, while featuring, quote, they, them pronouns, furry art, there was a progression from pro-Trump posts to anti-Trump posts, threats, calls for violence. It's also interesting that both of his parents worked in the kind of psychiatric type of field. They have very high-powered lawyers representing them right now, as, of course, the FBI has not confirmed the findings, as there are earlier statements from them saying, no significant trail at all, nothing to see here, and it definitely does look like there is. As Robbie Starbuck responded here by saying, quote, if FBI leadership wants to understand why so many people distrust the FBI still, even after cash came in. Look no further than this. The FBI could have shared this long ago and they didn't. Why? Yeah. Why didn't the FBI do that? Andrew Colvo. Wow, President Trump would-be assassin Thomas Crooks was entertaining a furry fetish, just like Tyler Robinson. He also used they/them pronouns on social media profiles. This is beyond correlation. This is a 5-alarm fire. Now, I have my own theories about this, since, of course, a lot of people who were into furry stuff were programmed with early childhood entertainment. If you look at the current kind of furry phenomenon, it's when adults dress up as animals, and many people correlate that with cartoons that they were shown as children with these furries, with these kind of human, non-human type of animals. And when they grow up and as babies and as children and as adolescents are being just given this form of entertainment, their brains are programmed to be wired to act this way. Therefore, it could be an incentive for a dark government private contractor or intel agency connected contractor to say, yeah, we know how their brains are programmed with this form of art and entertainment. Therefore, we could use similar programming or similar type of rewiring programs to be able to program them to do certain actions. As, of course, they have already been programmed by the program to dress up as animals and to sniff each other's buttocks. Yep. Now, before getting into the deep dive into it and Tim Burchett's MKUltra comments, which I think are absolutely right on the money, we first really quickly and shortly wanted to tell you about the bestpoliticalshirts.com, where you can get the shirt like the one I'm wearing right now that says Make Orwell Fiction Again. One of our most popular shirts, if not the best shirt ever that you could get, that, of course, shares a lot of people's frustration with modern-day technocratic AI takeover of our civil society that is becoming more robotic, more ungenuine, more fake and gay. You type in 1984 into the search bar, and bada bing, bada boom, you got it right here. You click on the shirt, you can get the long sleeve like the one that I'm wearing right now for $30. We also got other shirts available to you on the bestpoliticalshirts.com. I just ordered this one that says Caucasian. That one's going to trigger a bunch of people. This one's really good. This one's one of my favorite too. It says ill government. Yeah. 1984, great book. Can't recommend it enough. If you have, there's a reason a lot of schools are making it not mandatory reading anymore. I think it should be mandatory reading. It's a great book. I think we're living in like a Venn diagram, though, of like 1984, Brave New World, Fahrenheit 451. We have that shirt, too. TheBestPoliticalShirts.com. Type in 1984 right here into the search bar. Get them while supplies last. So, of course, I'm going to be making all the shirts limited edition now, limited time only. I'm going to start making that transition, that trend, because that's just how it works now in the t-shirt business. So whenever I got some time, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to delete a whole bunch of shirts. They're never coming back. And some of them are just going to be limited time only or just available for our members to purchase at any time. Now, all right, let's get back into this because this is big. Brianna Morello talks about how there are source documents specifically talking about this full online activity. Now, they, them pronouns is important because a lot of people are like, Iran. Now, Crooks also allegedly, according to these new documents, whether they have been verified or not, we do not know yet, but according to these new documents, he also used the PayPal alias Rod Swanson, which was possibly inspired by a former FBI senior agent, Rod Swanson, who was Nevada's chief investigator during the 2017 Las Vegas incident. Remember that incident? The biggest mass type of boom boom event in American history that just was swept under the rug. Everyone was told to shut up, especially after the very strange, weird kind of circumstances, coincidence that were correlating around government. Remember that? Yeah? That one? The weird one? Yeah? Remember that? That's big. That's big. As a lot of people are saying, well, some of this, furry type of identity is related towards a lot of people who are detaching from reality, a lot of people who are entering fantasy land, and also a lot of people who are easily programmable. That's the issue here. There's also a lot of people who are a part of it who are watching a lot of adult content, which is mentally destabilizing, which changes the minds of young men. Now, there's also a lot of usage of SSRIs and hormone therapies amongst a lot of young people. Was he on some of the things? We don't know. Because, again, body just automatically cremated. No investigation here. I wonder why that was. As a lot of people are saying, it is people delving into sin and into demonic. Now, again, a lot of this is coming forward because Tucker Carlson released a video titled, "Who is Thomas Crook?" 6.9 million views. It actually prompted the FBI to respond here. As Tucker Carlson was able to shed some very important questions about how the FBI is missing here a lot of the key questions that are very pressing that they never answered, that they keep telling you to shut up, that there's a case going, but there's no case. As FBI Director Kash Patel responded to Tucker Carlson's video, he didn't blanketly answer his questions, and I think he should, for full transparency and accountability's sake. But it's because it's like, oh yeah, anonymous source released this, anonymous source released this, FBI is quiet. And now they only respond when they're on the back footing. This is why no one trusts the FBI. Because it's like, okay, what did you genuinely release? What did you actually give us that made sense, that actually provided us information about understanding these types of events and circumstances? Nothing. They have nothing. FBI Director Kash Patel, Crook's case overview. And he responded, over 480 FBI employees were involved in the Thomas Crook investigations. Has that investigation concluded? If it has, why aren't the events public? It's been a very long time. How long is the investigation still ongoing? First question. Oh my God. I have to do this. Is it not public? Again, I want to know about all this stuff. And they say, employees conducted over 1,000 interviews, addressed over 2,000 public tips, analyzed data extracted from 13 seized digital devices, reviewed nearly 500,000 digital files, collected, processed, and synchronized hundreds of hours of video footage, analyzed financial activity from 10 different accounts, and examined data associated with 25 social media or online forum accounts. Okay, you did that now. Why isn't some of that information public to make us understand what led up to this horrible, tragic security failure? Who failed here? Because someone did. And why wasn't anyone held responsible for one of the biggest security lapses and failures of our time? Okay. Is it someone within the FBI that failed? Someone within the Secret Service? Someone within the CIA? Someone within the local police department? Hold someone accountable so this never happens again. Otherwise, people have a lot of theories. MKUltra, government involved. And more importantly, the people who shot at Trump still in power, holding leverage over him. Because that's what a lot of people have concluded. And I don't think they're wrong. Unless we get any kind of legitimate answers here. And we haven't. Prove me wrong. And I think it's the best duty of the FBI to do that. The FBI's investigation into Thomas Crooks identified and examined over 20 online accounts. Data extracted from over a dozen electronic devices, examinations of numerous financial accounts, and okay, you did this, sure. It's like, look, we did a good job. We don't know anything that you did. You haven't shown us anything. You're only responding because you're getting criticism because Tucker Carlson scooped you, the media scooped you, and made you guys look bad like you're a part of a cover-up effort. And you're not just proving them that you're not part of a cover-up. The investigation conducted by over 480 FBI employees revealed Kirk's had limited online and in-person interactions. Okay, but what was his ideology? What led him to extremism? Planned and conducted the attack alone. You're talking about complicated explosive devices, also from a young man. And did not leak or share his intent to engage in the attack. When he was literally threatening Donald Trump on his social media accounts. He was literally threatening violence. The FBI investigation summoned him to one photo. Yeah, I got to retweet this. As now, Tucker Carlson says the FBI is lying. And listen, a lot of people believe that. This kind of PayPal alias, very weird, very strange. And now here comes Congressman Tim Burchett, who I think is right. Outside of any public disclosure evidence, I think he's absolutely right, and he hits the nail on the head here.
MKUltra.
I'm going to toss to you. That's right. Yep.
They got sued. They said it didn't exist, and then they got sued, and they said, "Oh, it exists, but we don't use it anymore." So,
yeah, why? Yeah, right. Oh yeah, we got caught doing something illegal. We're totally not doing it again, and we totally stopped ourselves from doing it. Get the hell out of here! Where's the oversight? Donald Trump needs to immediately put in a new church commission hearing. You know, the one that revealed the heart attack gun that the CIA has, the one that revealed how the CIA had people within the top media agencies in all of the United States. We need another church commission hearings immediately.
I don't believe them as far as I can throw the dome off the dadgum Capitol, Benny. You got a kid who's got access to guns or has some simple knowledge of a firearm. He was programmed. You're exactly right. They programmed this kid, and Kristi Noem and Cash and Bongino and the rest are reporting the facts as they know them.
So they programmed him. Again, furry people, easily programmable, because they already are programmed to be accepting of very antisocial type of behavior. If you're the CIA, right, and you're working on mind control, it's like, okay, these people are very easily manipulated, and they're okay to be very shocking, and they're okay to do things that is not normal in society. We could probably mold them, use a furry daddy or use a furry master, come on in and rewire their brains to do something else more unacceptable for the rest of society, and let's program them to go after the President of the United States, who, by the way, the intel agencies were putting out all the stops in order to try to make sure that he didn't become the next president of the United States. The intel agency-controlled social media apparatuses literally covered up the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. Google, Facebook, the images of him raising his fist saying, "Fight." They were blocking that so people wouldn't be able to see it. The media, that is also controlled by the intel agencies, they were saying, oh, there was just a large pop. Trump fell down because there was a large pop. Nothing to see here. Goodbye. Bye-bye. And we were like, what the? And then like, okay, they're like, okay, yeah, he got shot at. And then they went back to negatively covering Donald Trump. Like, but Donald Trump's immigration policies. But Donald Trump, he's a bad man. And I'm like, are you kidding me? All the intel agency controlled apparatuses. You're telling me they rated him 700 years in jail, made him a felon, again, attacked. You're telling me that the last resort wasn't taking shots at him? We were telling you that before they took shots at him. We were telling you, okay, first they're arresting him. Now they're searching him. Now they're going through the court process. Now they're trying to take away his money through legal fees. Now the next step after finding him guilty, finding him a felony, making him go to jail. Now the next step will be, because all of it's backfiring, he's becoming more and more popular. They got to take him out. And I told you that a month before the assassination attempt. Right? Other independent media also caught on to it. And they were saying, what? Trump needs to pick a radical VP. That's what I was saying. Trump needs to pick a radical VP. Why? Because he needs to scare the intelligentsia, the deep state, the intelligence agencies. You're telling me they didn't use MKUltra? I think there's a high standard that they did.
The facts have been buried or burned, or whoever knew is either sitting on a beach somewhere and enjoying a fruity drink, or they're dead. I would suggest they're probably dead. And this is what happens. You claim it doesn't. They label me and you conspiracy theorists, but this is exactly what we see happen. And it happens in Washington. It's happening now. It's too deep. It is. And that's why I said, I wish they could go in and just fire everybody and then just start back. But you can't do that because of security. You're going to fire some good people that are clearly have their thumb in the dike on terrorists or what have you. And that's where we're at. That's why Kash Patel and Bongino are having such a hard time. Christy Nome, either way, I don't give a rip either way.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that man's spitting the truth here, whether you like it or not here, in my own personal opinion, because outside of that, we have no other counter evidence. Weird story, weird circumstances, weird situation. Law enforcement taking pictures of this guy, just walking around, hanging around, no problem at all. The fact that he was into this type of ideology is important because it correlates what I believe to be an MKUltra CIA type of operation. Do you think that's true? If you think so, share this video. Thank you so much for getting a t-shirt. Let's start the conversation down in the description below. I wouldn't be here for you guys sharing, watching, and being a part of this independent media organization. And this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more, all here exclusively on youtube.com/WeAreChange.